After studying how social experiments have been conducted in social psychology and in experimental psychology, how behavior has been studied, and after studying various type of designs, let's try designing an experiment to test a social behavior hypothesis. The scientific method starts with us or the experimenter asking a question. That question leads you to sources of existing research, how this problem has been studied before, how this question has been answered by other researchers. Then we formulate a hypothesis. एक मफरूज़ा कायम करते हैं कि उन्होंने इस तरह से स्टडी किया है और हम ये स्टडी करना चाहते हैं, इसमें हमारी assumption या hypothesis क्या है. Then we design and conduct a study. Then we draw conclusions, यानी नतीजा अखज़ करते हैं, and then we share or report our results. Problem: how does the presence of other people affect an individual's performance on a task? A hypothesis based on observation. हमने ऐसा देखा तो हम उस पर एक hypothesis base कर रहे हैं. A well-written hypothesis is the key to any well-designed experiment. इसलिए specific hypothesis बनाएंगे. The presence of the people can affect our behavior in many ways. One example of this effect is known as social facilitation, which is the phenomenon that the presence of others can facilitate an individual's performance on a task. From this observation, we might predict that when people work together on a task, they will actually do better than when they work alone. To test this hypothesis, we must first find an appropriate task. काम जो उन्होंने करना है, ऐसा काम जो वो लेबोरेटरी में कर सके और लोगों की मौजूदगी में कर सके. Something that can be performed both alone and with a group of people. यानी अकेले भी कर सकें और लोगों के साथ मिलके भी कर सकें. Now वो टास्क ऐसी होनी चाहिए जिसका जो आउटकम है वो मेजर किया जा सके, and it can be compared in both the individual and group situations. I hope all that is clear. इसको टेस्ट करने के लिए ऐसी टास्क जो लोग मिलके भी कर सकें, अकेले भी कर सकें, लेबोरेटरी में कर सकें, और उस टास्क का जो आउटकम है उसे मेजर किया जा सके ग्रुप में भी और इंडिविजुअल जब करे तब भी. सपोज द टास्क ये थी कि आप एक अच्छा टेलीफोन डिज़ाइन करें, अ बेटर टेलीफोन फॉर द हैंडीकैप्ड. Naturally, we would expect most group designs to be better than most individual designs. कि जो ग्रुप में लोग डिज़ाइन करेंगे वो जो इंडिविजुअल डिज़ाइन करेगा उससे बेहतर होगा. हाँ, कोई इंडिविजुअल अगर कोई ओकेजनल जीनियस है, एक्सेप्शनल है, तो वो और बात है. A potential candidate for this task is one involving physical exertion, जिसमें कोई जिस्मानी मुशक्क़त या एफर्ट लग रही हो, such as the force with which one can pull on a rope, a task discussed earlier that in our explanation of the experimental task that people can use in a lab experiment. So let us see if this task meets the criteria outlined earlier. First, the performance measure is easily quantified. The rope can be attached to a mechanism that measures the amount of force exerted when a person pulls on it. तो जितना वो जोर लगा के खींचता है वो एक्चुअली मेजर हो जाता है. ऐसा उसके साथ एक मैकेनिकल आपको डिवाइस लगानी होगी. नेक्स्ट, वी कुड हैव ऑल द पार्टिसिपेंट्स पुल ऑन द रोप together and compare the force exerted by the group to the sum of the individual forces. Sum यानी total. अब जो वो फोर्स उसमें शो हो रही है वो इंडिविजुअल की फोर्स को अगर 1 + 2 + 3 + जमा कर दिया जाए तो क्या वो उसके बराबर है. If the group's total is greater than the sum of the individual scores, we would conclude that people's individual performance improves when they perform this task with others. We would know that in general, the participants exerted more effort in the group than when they were alone. Second, the measure is meaningful whether one or several people pull the rope, since the metric or performance, that is force, is the same in both the cases, in both situations. Finally, individual performance can easily be compared with group performance. We can ask each person to pull the rope alone as hard as possible, then add up all the force scores. This sum would represent the potential contribution of each individual to the group effort and would serve as a baseline for comparing the effect of group performance. So, your question led to a hypothesis, and from hypothesis, we tried to design a study in which we found a measure that could be done alone, that could be done with a group, and that measure was quantifiable. Now we are ready for analysis once we get the result of this designed experiment. If we get results one way or the other, it will prove or disprove what we were looking to verify.